Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today is the first vlog for the month of September where I'm going to be trying to get through some series. It is a new challenge for me. I did 31 books in 31 days last month, and this month I don't really have a number. I just have like a cart full of all of the books I physically own that are part of a series that I already started, and I just want to get through as many of those as possible. So, starting this one out, I actually do have some arcs that I'm going to be incorporating into these vlogs just because some of them do work for the theme, and I also just have so many to get through in September. So the first book that I will be reading in this vlog is Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey. That is the next book in her Big Shot series. It comes out in about a week, at least from when I'm filming this, and it is the fourth book in that series. It is a hockey player and like softball player romance, and it's a Tessa Bailey book, so I know it's going to be spicy. And I have started it. I'm about 20% in because I started at the gym this morning. And from what I can gather, it is like a fake dating to make somebody else jealous kind of thing, but boys catching feelings fast. And that's what I love about Tessa Bailey's books, is that her guys fall hard and they fall fast, and her writing, I know not everybody likes her, but I do enjoy her books because they scratch like a certain itch in my brain that no one else really does. And they're just a fun time. And can I read them all the time? No, but when I do read them, I do enjoy them. So yeah, basically they fake date to make a guy jealous that our main character, Skylar, has had a crush on forever. Robbie, who's our main male character, he's a rookie for the Boston Bearcats, which is the team that was introduced actually kind of in the first book, but the male main interests from the past two books in the series have been on that team. So that's where we are. She's still in college. They're both young. He's obviously a rookie, so he's just early 20s. She's still in college playing softball, and they're fake dating to make somebody jealous. So I can't wait to see how it goes. Obviously, we know how it's gonna go, but I'm excited for a good time. So that's the first book. I will also be reading A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is the second book in An Ember in the Ashes quartet. I won't be able to talk too much about this other than my thoughts and feelings, obviously, with a lot of these books. The romances I can, just because they're typically could be interconnected standalones, but the fantasy books are hard to talk about without spoiling previous books. So you'll just get thoughts and feelings. Same for A Compass to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maurer. This is the third book in The Apprentice to the Villain. I think it's going to be 5 books. I know she's writing the fourth one, but I swear I saw somewhere that it's going to be 5, so we'll see. That is just a fun, goofy time. I love those books. A Promise of Peridot, which is the second book in the Sacred Stones trilogy by Kate Golden. That is a completed trilogy. I do not own the third book though, so I'm stuck after this for this month. I'm not buying books this month. The more I say it, the more I'm going to hope that it sinks into my brain. And then finally Caught Up by Nevesse Allen, which is the second book in the Into Darkness trilogy. Not complete yet. She technically has a third book complete, but it doesn't come out until next year. So excited for this one. Very excited for these main characters. So that is what we're starting with. And from there, I'm going to be starting A Torch Against the Night probably at some point today. I have 2 nonfictions I'm trying to finish up before the end of the month as well, so we'll see how that plays in. But I have started Picture Perfect, and I do plan on starting A Torch Against the Night at some point today. So I will update when I have some thoughts and feelings on the books. Okay, so I have an update. I finished up Picture Perfect last night, and I really enjoyed that book. I think that those Big Shot books keep getting better the more they go on. This one was really adorable. I love a storyline where the guy meets the girl and he's immediately like, I'm gonna marry her. And I've said that on this channel so many times before, but like that is one of my favorite micro tropes, is him being immediately like, that's my future wife. I'm gonna marry this girl. And I also love the reformed playboy. And those were the big tropes in this one. I just thought it was a really sweet connection, and I mean, I think that there were a few things in there that were glaringly obvious about like her and her situation with wanting to make this guy jealous and everything, but overall the storyline was still really cute, and I loved the main male character, so I just enjoy them. Like I said, Tessa Bailey's books scratch like this weird itch in my brain that I can't describe. Are they like the best written books? No, but I still enjoy them because she just writes a really fun, fluffy, cutesy, spicy romance. So she scratches that itch. So that's finished. I'm also about 50% of the way through A Torch Against the Night, and I honestly can see myself wanting to just like fly through the rest of the series because it's just getting better and better. This book, I'm not even sure where the storyline's gonna go at this point based on like what's been happening in this book, but she just keeps throwing stuff at me that I'm not ready for and I don't see coming, and I love that. So very excited to see where the rest of this goes. Obviously, I can't talk too much about it, but it's taking the storyline from the last book and how it ended and just like timesing it by 1,000. And it's interesting. Like, a story like this could so easily become boring, but that's not what this is happening at all. And I just feel like Sabaa Tahir is just going to keep throwing things at us for the next 2.5 books, and I can't wait to see how the series ends. And this is definitely one I can see myself wanting to binge the crap out of for the rest of the month. So it's good that I started this one early in the month because I could just see myself wanting to fly through the rest. So I also am throwing books. I also went a little out of order because I didn't want to be reading 2 fantasies at one time, and I did manage to get this book. It's not on KU, but it was available in my library, so I got that on my Kindle, so I've been able to read this one at the gym. But I did start Caught Up by Navessa Allen, and holy crap. This is NSFW. I started reading this in the first 2 chapters, was like, okay, that's the kind of book this is gonna be. Which, you know what? It's fine, because I am still very excited to read it. But if you are faint of heart and don't like a lot of spice and don't like a book that is probably going to be based on a lot of spice and a lot of like vulgarity, don't read this book. But if you like that, so far it's going great. I'm only on I've just read 4 chapters, so I'm not too far into it because I barely had a minute to breathe at work today, but I didn't get a lunch or anything, so I didn't get to read at lunch. I just got through a few chapters before work, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna read a little bit more of this before bed, I think. But yeah, really enjoying this so far. And I love our main male character. Obviously, we didn't really know the female one before this. Not obviously, but we didn't know the female one before this. But this main male character, so excited for this book. So that's where I am right now in these books for this vlog. I will update probably tomorrow with where I've made it. Okay, update for this vlog. I did finish both of these books today. This one this morning, this one literally 5 minutes ago. And both are 4.5 stars. We'll talk about this one first. Second book in the Ember in the Ashes quartet. The plot in this was just plotting so hard, and the storyline was just flowing so flawlessly, and things were moving so quickly that I just did not want to put this down. This is almost 450 pages, something like that. Granted, it's like YA 450 pages, but like I flew through this, and I want to read the second 2 or the last 2 books so much right now. But I want to get through the TBR that I chose for this month first, and then I'll choose which other books to read. But really enjoyed this. Can't talk too much about it, but let's just say that she's moving the plot along in a way that is interesting and it doesn't feel repetitive, and it doesn't feel like we're going to see the same stuff over and over again. This does have a romance in it. The romance wasn't super strong part of this, but it still was there enough to keep the emotions there for me. That's why I like romantices, because I feel like it helps me connect more emotionally to the characters. But so good. It is, I think, more prominent in this one than it was in the first book, so I'm assuming that's going to just be a trend for the rest of the series, but this didn't even need it. Like, the plot was so good, the story was good, and like, yeah, some things I think you kind of like saw coming, but she still did it in a way that made it very interesting and is going to help the story move along. I'm very excited for, I think, A Reaper at the Gates is the next one. That's the 3rd one, so we'll see if I get to that this month. And then Caught Up. I knew I was gonna love this one, like, just as much as I love Lights Out. I love the main male character in here, and I really did like our female main character as well. This is a very, like, hate-fueled romance, or, like, very passionate, I'd say, in that aspect. There's a lot of miscommunication, which leads to, like, the hate or the, like, dislike of each other. More so on her side to him than him to her. He's obsessed with her, and he's been like stalking her for years, but there's been things that have happened that she didn't really know about that were causing her to hate him. So that was really kind of like fueled their passion. It is a very spicy book. It is very centered around that. So if that's not something you like, do not recommend. But if that is something you like, this was just a fun, good time. This is kind of mafia mob-esque as well. Really enjoyed it. Cannot wait for the 3rd book, which, I mean, the couple's revealed at the end, and you could look it up and see who the next one is, but I think it's called Game On, and it comes out in the spring. I want to say the end of March. I just pre-ordered it because Barnes & Noble is having a pre-order sale, but that will be the final book in this one. So, caught up in this series. Punny. I'm up to date in this series as of right now that I can be. The next book is pre-ordered, and I still have 2 more in this one to finish out the series. So far in this vlog, we have gotten up to date on 2 series, Picture Perfect, and then caught up, and we're making progress with another one. The next book I'm going to read is A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden. This is the second in the Sacred Stones trilogy. Really excited to get into this. This is also an enemies to lovers romantasy. And yeah, we had some pretty big things that happened at the end of the first book, and I'm very excited to see how that leads into this story. And I wanted to get into this before I started to forget about what happened, but yeah, very excited to get into this and hopefully be able to get A Reign of Rose next month when I'm at the beach and allowing myself to just purchase books freely again and get through that and then be done with this trilogy. I really did enjoy A Dawn of Onyx, which was the first book. So basically we have this woman that has these powers, and she is taken by the leader of this one part of this world. The worlds have different lands that are all based off of gemstones, and he is he's part of the Onyx Kingdom. And they take her prisoner there and want to use her. So yeah, there's like, that's the map. So you can see that they're all like gemstones. They take her to their kingdom and want to use her powers. She has like medicinal healing powers to exploit those. And then like her family is involved in this, and there's just like a war going on, but it's, you know, in typical fantasy fashion, you don't know that the story you've been told the whole time is actually what's going on. So she's learning what's truly going on by actually getting out there and seeing it and being in different kingdoms than the one that she grew up in and lived in her entire life. So very excited to see how this continues, and I'll let you guys know when I'm done. Okay, update time. I just finished up A Promise of Peridot, and I want to read A Reign of Rose right now. This is why I shouldn't read series like I do. I should just read them in a whole, because I get so excited when I finish one, and then I wait too long to read the next one. But I don't own A Reign of Rose. I'm gonna buy it, hopefully on vacation next month, because I am trying to comprise a list. I'm going to be buying books responsibly for the rest of the year. When I do buy them, I'm going to try not to buy too many, but this ended off on such a cliffhanger. More so than the first book. The first one was more like I'd say like an oh shit moment, because something was unveiled that you maybe didn't expect, but this was definitely a cliffhanger. And I have faith that it will be resolved in the third book, but I just want to read it. I'm like so into this world and into this like couple and into what is going on right now that it's going to be hard to wait until next month to read A Reign of Rose. But if I buy it on vacation, I will probably read it on vacation. So I think I'm going to give this 4.5 stars because I really enjoyed the story. I think that the romance kicked up in this one. I think the plot kicked up in this one. We did get more world building and stuff obviously in the first one, so it was a little bit slower, but I really enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see how Miss Kate Golden finishes this series up with the third book. And I also read that there may be a spinoff series of this coming that follows like another couple in this story, so I hope that's the case, because the little breadcrumbs we've been getting of them have been perfect as well. So yeah, this is such an interesting world, such a fascinating world. There was a lot of action, I'd say, more in this one than from what I remember in the last one. It's been a few months since I read that one, but yeah, really enjoyed this. Excited for the third one. And I just recommend this one. This is a very good, like, romantasy. Just, like, your generic romantasy. It's got dragons. It's got, like, enemies to lovers. It's got, like, I don't want to say, like, heists, but they go on a lot of, like, adventures to try to, like, find certain things and acquire certain things. And there's, you know, the big bad and everything. So, I don't know. It's just a very good time. I'm really enjoying this. It's not going to be, I don't think, a 5-star series for me, but it's definitely going to be one that I know I'm going to think back on and possibly even read again. Alright, now the final book for this vlog is Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maurer. This is the third book in her Assistant to the Villain series, and this is like a fun, good time. So it's more of like a goofy, silly fun romantasy. I've heard that the romance finally kicks up in this one. I'm hoping, because it's been like the slowest of slow burns in the past 2 books. But it's been very, like, it's amusing, it's comical, you're just laughing, having a good time. And there are stakes, they're just not like, I wouldn't compare the stakes in like A Promise of Peridot to what happens in this series, at least not as of now. So yeah, we'll see. Very excited to see how this one continues and be able to talk to my sister about it because she's been begging me to read it. Not a very long book either, so that should be fun. It is Sunday. I am doing a lot of chores and waiting for a refrigerator to be delivered. So I can't go anywhere, can't really do anything until that happens, but I'll just sit and read. It's kind of chilly and stuff out. It's starting to feel like fall in the great state of Pennsylvania. It feels like it is October and it is the 7th of September. So yeah, I will update once I've made some progress with Accomplice to the Villain. Final update for this vlog. I finally finished Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maurer. This was adorable. I love this series because it's so unserious. Literally, like, it's just a good time. It's fun. There are stakes. Are they high stakes? No, it's just like witty banter, like cutesy, fun romance. Even when she does it, it's very clean romance. Slow burn was still slow burning in this. Definitely not as much as the first 2. She's finally letting them break. I think there's going to be at least one more based on how she ended it, possibly more, but I think she kind of alluded to just 4 at the end of this. I thought it was originally supposed to be 5, but yeah, really good time. 4.25 stars. Can't really talk about too much of the plot because it is the 3rd book, but we basically follow Evie and the villain who meet in the 1st book in like kind of a funny situation in the woods, and she starts working for him as his assistant, and like slowly throughout the series, like obviously they grow closer. It is a romance, but there is like a fantasy subplot to it with like curses and like his magic and stuff like that. So really good time. Adorable. I love Kingsley too. He's the little frog. He was a very big role in this one. He's been in the other ones, but like he was very integral to this story in particular. So 4.25. Before that, I finished up A Promise of Peridot, which is the 2nd book in the Sacred Stones trilogy by Kate Golden. This was 4.5 stars. Caught Up by Nevessa Allen, also 4.5 stars. This is the 2nd book in the Into Darkness trilogy. I cannot wait for the 3rd one. I think it's really gonna wrap this up very nicely. A Torch Against the Night, the 2nd book in the Ember in the Ashes quartet. Cannot wait to finish this series up. I really did enjoy this book, and I'm very excited to see where the next 2 go. I really just want to get into them, but I'm trying to get through the TBR I picked for the month first. But I feel like the 3rd book in that series could be like one of the first ones I pick up once I get through my selected TBR. Also 4.5 stars. And then I started the vlog with Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey, and that's the 4th book in her Big Shot series, which is a sports romance series. It's been a few different sports, and I know there's going to be at least 3 more books, I think. I could see her doing another 3. I think she's confirmed 1 that releases at the end of the year. And she has talked about another character definitely getting a book, and I could see a 3rd one there. So we'll see where she goes with it. I don't think it'll go on indefinitely, but I could definitely see her getting 3 more books out of this and still keeping it like relevant. So as always, let me know if you've read any of these books, if you've read any of these series, your thoughts, your feelings. And I thank everybody so much for watching if you've made it this far in the video, and hope to see you all in the next one.